Starting the year with the Vauxhall Rally of Wales. Of course, the best event in my home country, Wales. Some of the classic stages, Havering and Dyfi, very fast, smooth stages, real driver stuff. You know, it's of course a favourite event of mine. Wasn't too good to me in the early years. We had a few upside downs trying to win it, but once I got my first win of my home event under the belt, it's been grand since.
Once again, historic Chester is the starting point for the Vauxhall Rally of Wales, organised by the Carnarvonshire and Anglesey Motor Club. This is the opening round of this year's Mobil 1 Top Gear British Rally Championships. And again, the crowds are out at Chester Racecourse to see scrutineering. As usual, a major challenge from Ford, and no one better equipped for the Welsh forests than Malcolm Wilson. But would he encounter last year's bad luck?
Well, I hope it's going to be a little bit different to last year, but I mean, you never know. We're very happy. Obviously, the team's, it's not as new as it was this time last year. And, you know, with the last part of the year was for us last year was very good. You know, it was a good result on the end of the RAC.
Well, you won the Formula 2 Championship last year, and you said you were learning to drive the car, so what can we expect this time?
Well, hopefully, you know, I can defend the title and obviously retain it. But as I mentioned, we've got two other manufacturers out this year, which obviously are going out there to win it as well. So I think it'll be close and it'll be hard fought.
We saw you in the Subaru last year, four-wheel drive. Have you had to adapt your technique a great deal?
Still trying. It's okay when you remember you're in front-wheel drive, but occasionally you revert back to four-wheel drive and you throw the car into the corner, and all you get in the way out's wheel spin. So you've always got to keep it in the back of your mind that you're in a front-wheel drive car now, and it's a bit of a different driving technique.
So what brings the Finnish champion here to Wales?
Oh, for the British Championship, I'm very happy to be here. I've been looking for a chance to get outside Finland for many years, and that's why I'm very happy that Volkswagen UK gave me the chance to do the British Championship.
I think the stages will be in a wettish condition, even if the days are dry. So I think that it'll be wetter than not. No in Wales.
See how it goes. As long as we get a Michelin pilot car, you know, over the line first, that's the priority at the end of the day.
The rally's spread over 2 days. From its base in Chester, it takes in 12 classic Welsh forest stages, totalling 134 miles, some of the most demanding rally stages in the world. Then it's back to Chester for the finish.
Malcolm Wilson, cruelly out of luck last year, started the 1994 season as firm favourite for the championship. It looked a safe bet, as he instantly set fastest time on the first Lacainon stage. All seemed well in Wilson's world. Minutes later, on stage 2, it was a very different, but an all too familiar story.
90 right. Into the junction. Left, 90 right. Get your belt, that's it, easy, you can still out. That's it.
His main fuel pump had seized. He lost time, but started again, thanks to the reserve. But not for long.
Left, 30 right.
Just meters from the end of the stage, pump number 2 also failed him.
Pink, 60 left, 60 right. Yeah, down.
We had a problem earlier on in the stage, and we switched over to the other pump, which then got us this far with no problems. And then we just started to come here towards the finish, and then this one failed. So it makes me think that there's maybe something in the fuel that caused the pumps to go.
Both of them?
Both. Can't believe it. It's unheard of.
I was going to say, you had a few problems last year, but this is a new one.
Well, at least we got to the end of them last year. This for sure. I mean, now we're out of the rally. There's, you know, we're OTL, so we can't continue.
There was to be an early exit for the other Cumbrian star, Dougie Watson-Clark. He didn't even make stage 2. He was thoroughly dejected after a burned-out cooling fan caused his escort's engine to surrender.
The temperature gauge just shot up to maximum, and we've put on the fans, but for whatever reason the fans have burnt out, and we just think a stone or something has jammed the motors and it's burned the motors out. So with this stage, this next stage being 11 miles, there's no way that we can risk it, basically, you know.
So 26-year-old Stephen Finlay, still without a win on a major event, found himself in the lead. It was quite a debut for Malcolm Wilson's new teammate. Having inherited an unexpected lead, he lost no time in proving that he could handle it. He was 22 seconds faster than his closest challenger on this headline-making stage. The man in pursuit was Norway's Børge Gundersen, driving a Toyota. He was rallying here in Britain for the first time in 4 years. Sweden's Thomas Abrahamsson had an unhappy time on last year's event, retiring early. But he would rarely be out of the top 3 this year. The fastest of the mainland challengers was now Scottish champion Murray Grierson, driving the Subaru Legacy, which had stood Alistair McRae in such good stead last season.
And in the Formula 2 battle, it was first blood to Alistair McRae in the Works Nissan Sunny. In recent years, he's become used to four-wheel drive cars, but he was relishing this challenge. McRae and regular co-driver David Senior were getting to grips with their new car and turning up the heat on David Llewellyn. The Welshman has had a year's advantage over McRae. He's well used to his 2-litre, two-wheel drive Vauxhall Astra. The reigning Formula 2 champion knew he had a fight on his hands to keep his title. It was destined to become one of the season's eagerly awaited clashes for Llewellyn and co-driver Ian Grinrod.
Looking very happy, you're enjoying it?
Yes, it's going quite well. We're getting a bit quicker, which is better. Alistair caught us with our trousers down this morning. 9 seconds he took off us in the first stage, was only quite short. And the next 2 stages were identical time, and we just took 5 off him there, so it's very, very close.
Sebastian Lindholm, the Finnish champion, was also hoping to make an impression in the Formula 2 category. He was driving the new Volkswagen Golf, as used by Jimmy McRae in the Network Q RAC Rally last winter. Lindholm last contested the British Championship in 1987. In Wales, with some of the scenery already attached to his car, he was clearly enjoying himself.
How's it going, Sebastian?
Yes, surprisingly well. We have really enjoying driving this car, and I'm surprised. So, I mean, our performance has been quite good also, so I'm very happy.
Not quite so happy with his service crew bogged down in a Welsh ditch. Bertie Fisher, the reigning Irish tarmac champion, was slipping and sliding on the gravel in his new Subaru Impreza. He was having his own private Irish duel with Austin McHale from Dublin, who's also happier on tarmac. McHale was making the most of his powerful Toyota Celica.
Enjoying it? You're smiling anyway.
Yeah, it's a new experience again, really. hard to get back onto the gravel. But we're happy enough. Everything's going well. The car's going well, and we're happy enough so far.
Are your times improving as you're going along?
Yes, we're, at the start I think we were maybe, 5 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds a mile slower than Stephen Finlay, for example, and last stage there I think we're maybe down to about 3 seconds a mile, so it's going to be a long time, mind you, but we're getting there.
Everyone else was getting there too, one way or another. This was Norway's Bruno Arntzen giving it a wide berth. Leicester's Steve Green in a Peugeot 205 tried the tight line. Staffordshire's Paul Dias was keeping his new Escort Cosworth in the middle of the road.
2 right, into 2 left, over dip. Caution, 60. Open 5 right, 60.
Not such a happy day for Johnny Milner in his Escort Cosworth. He had to fill his helmet with water to try to remedy a broken radiator. The car got hotter, so did his temper. But it was the end of the road for him as the rally moved back to Chester at the end of day 1.
The dramatic dawn promise of a sunny day was to be kept, to the delight of the Welsh Tourist Board and the spectators alike. Stephen Finlay was in a sunny mood too. The quiet Irishman had set fastest time on all but the first stage and headed back into the forest with a 38-second lead. He left Hafren with an even bigger lead.
Now then, everyone's been having trouble. Is it all plain sailing for you, Stephen?
So far, so good. We took 10 seconds of the next man behind us in that one, so we're happy with that.
Good luck.
His confidence and competence gave Malcolm Wilson something to smile about. David Llewellyn had snatched a Formula 2 lead from Alistair McRae on Friday's last stage. Now he was really battling to keep his Astra ahead of the Scotsman's Nissan. Halfway through this stage, Alistair was again quicker by a full 7 seconds. But he was soon to be dogged by problems.
What's the problem, Alistair?
The fuel pumps went in there and we had to drive 7 miles. The car was just cutting in and out and we've lost all the brakes. I don't know what's wrong.
Lost the brakes?
Yeah. Pedals at the floor at the moment.
The best efforts of the service crew were to no avail. Alistair's Formula 2 duel was over.
Right, the longest stage of the rally. How did you enjoy that, Martin?
Well, it was going absolutely brilliant until yet another gearbox has gone, so we were catching Steve Petch in front. It's so twisty up there, there's loads of real tight corners where you need second gear, so all we had was first and third.
The Overseas Challenge was proving mightily effective. This was Birger Gundersen from Norway in his Toyota. At this stage, he was in second spot and challenging Stephen Finlay. He set the fastest time through Garthainiog and was ready to capitalise on any mistakes from Finlay. Gundersen was proving a worthy opponent. The tussle at the top was now an exciting one. The Swedes were going well too. This was 26-year-old Thomas Abrahamsson in his Escort Cosworth. By mid-morning he was lying fourth and proving just how skillful the Scandinavian drivers are. Then there was Saku Virimar, another Finn in the top 10 in his Sierra. He's another Scandinavian used to ice driving but adapting well to the unusual Welsh conditions. Tapio Laukkanen was enjoying himself too. The 24-year-old Finnish junior champion is highly regarded back home. He was leading Group N and proving that driving skill can often be more important than the latest technology. His ageing Mitsubishi Galant was serving him well. No wonder they're calling him the new Kankkunen.
What do you think of these Welsh forests?
Yeah, very nice place. Nice roads, no problem.
And you're happily leading the Group N section at the moment?
Yeah, but the guys are coming very fast in behind us, and we will see what happens.
Certainly Sebastian Lindholm in his Volkswagen Golf was coming up behind him a little too fast on occasions. The Pantpertog stage was one he wouldn't forget in a hurry.
We had a big problem in the last stage, just 300-400 meters before the end. The stub axle broke.
The stub axle?
Broke, yes. And so we had lost the wheel completely there, but we managed, we were lucky, we were staying on the road and managed to get slowly out of the stage, and we'll get it repaired now.
How much time did that cost you?
I would think 40-50 seconds.
Oh, so that spoiled the contest a little bit then between you and David Llewellyn?
I think so. That is for sure over now. David must have some problems. No way for us to, we are now 1.5 minutes or something like that after him.
Henry Bourne Joy IV could only come from America. He was also relishing his first European rally. And David Yen from Taiwan was also a welcome visitor in his Peugeot 205.
3 right, 130.
Sometimes the in-car camera can be cruel.
2
It was
right,
witness to Paul
150.
Dias's problems on the 7th stage.
Long right. Caution, long 3 right, tightens. Oil light. Oil light. There's the pressure. 16. Any pressure?
That's oil light.
His hopes of a top Group N placing sunk together with his oil pressure. And Rune Pedersen quickly overtook him.
I think we've had the curse of the top gear camera. The engine just expired about a mile into that stage. I felt it slightly tightening up and the oil pressure lights come on. That's it, end of the rally.
Of course, it's a pretty new car for you, this one.
Yeah, it was brand new yesterday. It's only got 400 mile on the clock. And yeah, we're gutted, but at least the engine's still in one place. It still runs and everything. We'll get it rebuilt for the next rally.
Brian Lyle would also need to do a bit of rebuilding after this shortcut. This would be the last time we would see Nigel Warswick, about to succumb to engine problems. Belfast's Philip Young, doing really well on his first international, had an unlucky puncture. But he was lucky to find a host of helping hands. This incident would cost him 3 minutes. Fellow Ulsterman James Leckie was also out of luck. He would retire with transmission failure. Austin McHale in the former Carlos Sainz Toyota was duelling for 5th place with his north-of-the-border rival, Bertie Fisher. After a day-long battle, Bertie Fisher, on his first gravel rally since 1985, set the fastest time on stage 11. He was obviously getting used to his Subaru Impreza, taking on the challenge single-handed.
40, long, fast left. 40, long, fast right. And easy right. 100, easy right. 150, very fast left. Fast left. 16, fast right.
We've just had the fastest time on the last stage, and you know, I feel as though I'm driving the car probably certainly not better than it was yesterday and even this morning. You know, it takes time. We haven't been here for 9 years, so.
What do you think of this weather here?
I've never seen weather like this here before. I don't believe it, really.
Everybody's saying about this amazing weather here in Wales. Your hat and coat on like that for?
It looks a bit strange, doesn't it? My back is soaking with sweat, and there's a bit of cold air here, and it's quite cold on the back, so that's why I'm looking like it's in the middle of the deep in the middle of the winter.
What do you think of this weather?
Great. Everything is great today, really. Friendly people and nice roads and everything is good.
And obviously you're pretty pleased with your position, second place.
Yeah, just take it safe into the finish now. So.
Stephen Findlay was now on the last stage, 14 miles through Dovenant Forest. A fine performance despite the odd hiccup with gear selection. A deserved victory then for the Ulsterman, who finished third in this event last year. In second spot, Birger Gundersen in the Toyota with Mike Kidd, his late replacement as co-driver. The Norwegian is now hoping to attract enough sponsorship for the next British round, the Pirelli in Cumbria. Reigning Scottish champion Murray Grierson at 45 came home third in the Subaru Legacy, just one place lower than the car finished last year in the hands of Alistair McRae. A marvellous performance from the driver who spent last season cramped in the rather smaller Metro. Fourth spot for Thomas Abrahamson in the Escort Cosworth. He admitted he thoroughly enjoyed the experience and wants to return, finance permitting, of course. The winner of Group N was young Tapio Laukkanen, who also claimed 7th overall. Could this be the first glimpse of a driver destined for greater things? David Llewellyn won the Formula 2 category, as he did here last year in the Vauxhall Astra. He kept the rally sponsors happy and reminded everyone that he's the man to beat in Formula 2. It was also something for the home fans to appreciate too. Winner of the junior category was Mark Higgins in the Honda Civic. His brother David also won his category, despite this rather messy attempt at a hairpin. Dave Charlton was the winner of the A6 class in the Vauxhall Nova. And car dealer Scott Bradshaw from the Isle of Man won the N3 category and was runner-up in the junior class. And the smallest car in the rally belonged to Emlyn Wynne from Mould. It won him Class N1.
The first round of the Mobil 1 Top Gear Championship had produced a surprise but thoroughly deserving winner. Stephen Findlay had held off the Nordic Challenge to win by more than a minute. The international flavour of the event was spiced by 3 Scandinavians in the top 8, accompanied by 3 Irishmen, a Scot and a Manxman. The Group N did go to an invader, Tapio Laukkanen, on his first visit to Britain, but only after a thrilling battle with another Manxman, Martin Rowe. The Formula 2 tussle, appropriately called Formula Die in Wales, went to David Llewellyn in the Vauxhall Astra. But Sebastian Lindholm made his presence felt in the Volkswagen. And yet another Manxman, Mark Higgins, now leads the Junior Championship in his Honda Civic. So the Wilsons were winners after all. Desi Wilson, Stephen Findlay's co-driver, and Malcolm Wilson, the reluctant but happy team manager. It was a superb first win for Stephen Findlay, the first of many.
Well done, Stephen.
Thank you.
So you, what was that like then, that last stage?
The worst stage ever done, I think.
Took 9 seconds, it was.
She jammed between 2 gears on me. I must have didn't hit it right, you know. And had a wee panic on, but got it out of it and got it finished. So
it's your first really big win. This, how does it feel?
I don't think it's sunk in yet, but I'll get a few pints and then it'll sink in, I think.
Well done again.
into slight right and easy left. 170. Caution. Very fast right nose. And caution. Left and right and fast right over bump. 40. Slight right. 100. Turn fast left over bump. Feet fast left over bump. 40. Right max. 60. Very fast left. And very fast right. Into easy left. 60 long right max. And easy left over crest. 100 slight right logs into left max. And right over crest. 100 left into very fast right. Into easy left over bump. 60 right into easy right and left max over bump and right over crest. 80 long left max over mud and caution very fast right. Very fast right. 40 logs and bad mud and long left max and left max. 40 small crest. 100 caution bad mud into turn hairpin right and logs hairpin right. 40 left over bump. 130 right over bad holes, mud and logs. 150 slight right over bad mud. 60 right. 130 caution. Stay left over hole into turn square right. Into very fast right. And open fast left. And open fast left. 100 easy right over dip. 40 over bump. Caution easy left into bumps and right max. And very fast left logs and bad bumps. 40 open fast right. 40, very fast left, and easy right logs, and easy left, 100 over bumps, slight left into slight right, 60, slight right, into easy right, and right max, 40 caution, that's right max, 40 caution long, very fast left, don't cut logs, and caution left into very fast left and easy right. 40 caution open square right. 80 long very fast left and slight right and right max and caution open square left into fast right and easy left. 100 left max over crest. 150 open square right. Repeat, open square right. 40 long fast left tightens. And long right max. And fast left tightens. 40 slight right. And very fast left tightens, continues. 40 slight right. 40 easy left over dip. 40 right max. 40 crest straight. 100 left max. 40 caution, very fast left. Very fast left into open fast right. 100 slight left. 100 open fast left. Fast left. Into right. 60 left into open fast right. 40 caution open fast left. And left open fast. And to right 150 left into right max. 130 slight right. Stay left over junction and slight left. 60 right, 60 left into easy left, and slight left. 100 long right max over crest. Right max over crest. Repeat, wrong right max over crest. 80 downhill, caution, easy right, don't cut. Over dip, 40 square right, don't cut. 40 right max. 130, easy left. 130, slight right. 100 over small crests and slight left and the crest and turn right max, don't cut. Mud, sudden, fast right. Fast right. And very fast left. Into open fast right. And to left max and right max and stay right. Into easy left past junction. 170. Slight left. 40, caution, easy left. 60, turn hairpin right. 60. Open fast left. 40, long, very fast left. 100, caution, fast left. 60, double caution, fast left, and sudden hairpin right, don't cut. Hairpin right. And open fast left, continues. 60, caution, long fast left, into sudden square right, open. And long open fast left, into sudden turn hairpin right. 150 downhill. Open fast right. Open fast right. 40 left and the turn slight right. 130 caution, long fast right tightens. And long easy left. And right over logs and mud. 170. Slight right. 170 easy right. 60 right max. Into long easy left. 100 caution, stay left over junction and a slight right. 130 caution, tight hairpin left. Tight hairpin left. 150 slight left. 150 slight left into left over crest. 40 easy right. Into slight left. 130 right over small crest. 80 long easy left. 40 right max. Max. Into left over bump. Into right. 60 long easy right tightens. 40 over bump. And right over bump. 60 right max. Right max. Into left max. 40 easy left. 60 caution. Right into left max tightens. 150 past junction. Small crest 150. Caution right. 40 fast right tightens. Continues. Into very fast left over junction. And fast right now. And slight left. 150 downhill. Left to finish and long easy right. 80, long easy left and a loop. 920. Some rough bits in there.
Second round of the championship is obviously a very difficult one because it's in Kielder Forest Complex, which is probably one of the most difficult forests in the world. You know, the nature of the stage is they're very long in length, 20 odd miles, big rocks, and if you slip off the edge you get stuck in the sandy stuff on the edges. But all in all, it's still a very, very good rally and probably one of the best rallies.
4, 3, 2, 1, go. 200.
glorious countryside of Northumberland, dominated by Kielder Reservoir, just part of the setting for the Pirelli Rally, round 2 of the Mobil 1 Top Gear British Rally Championship. And in Carlisle, the crowds gathered to give the drivers a traditional send-off. For the hometown boys, this is always a special event.
This particular event, I have to say, will be a little bit different to the Vauxhall, because, you know, we're going into the most difficult forest in the UK, and the second stage in particular is 22 miles long. And up until last year's RAC, I think the last 4 times I'd actually been in that stage, I'd actually retired.
Now, Kielder Forest is known by everybody and feared by them all over the world. You live here. Go on, how well do you know it?
Well, to be honest, I mean, as you know, Kielder is very, very a large forest. You know, there's hundreds and hundreds of forest miles in there. You just get to know the terrain. You've just got to treat it with a lot of respect. You know that the ditches, if you do go into a ditch, you'll be very, very lucky to get out.
You're looking happy? You're looking forward to Kielder?
Well, as much as you can, Tony. It's very daunting, isn't it? Those deep ditches and long stages, they are very, very difficult. So try and keep it tidy and keep it clean. More so than we did last year, because we retired, I think it was on the 4th stage last year, with hitting a rock on the side of the road and breaking the suspension. So we want to try and do a bit better than that.
What about the competition in this Formula 2 category?
Yeah, I think it's hotting up, and it's even hotter now with the addition of Tommy Mäkinen in the otherness. And he's obviously World Championship pace-off driver, so I'll let us see what we've got to do for the future.
So, Tommy, how are you looking forward to this?
Really, I'm looking forward. Of course, I think it's a bit more difficult because it's many years long. Many years ago when I was driving last time without pace note.
You've got quite an interesting job this weekend, Keith.
Oh, certainly have. Trying to keep Tommy Mäkinen on the straight and narrow, but we shall see how we get on. He hasn't done a blind rally for quite some time, and I haven't competed on a major event not since Jimmy McRae and I won this one in 1991, so it's a bit like the blind leading the blind at the moment.
For the drivers, 2 days of keeping their eyes wide open. 9 stages in all. That's 122 stage miles through border country, with a start and finish in Carlisle. Top seed Malcolm Wilson led the field away in the much-fancied Ford Escort Cosworth, but he was hardly expecting an early taste of gridlock. No sign of any traffic on the first stage for Wilson, thrashing through the 10 miles of Shepherd Shield. Instantly, he was in command.
250 to junction, turn 90 right.
To quote the song, Wilson was looking simply the best. Even the notorious Pundershaw stage couldn't slow him down. The Norwegian Berger Gundersen, runner-up in Wales, was immediately on his heels here in the Toyota Celica. But then disaster for him on the Pundershaw stage. Although he got off to a flyer here, his engine was soon complaining. A blown engine put him out of the Pirelli, Gundersen's hopes literally going up in smoke. Stephen Findlay, having won in Wales, was now in the chasing position behind team boss Wilson. The 25-year-old Ulsterman was nonetheless proving what a sparkling future he has in the sport. Murray Grierson in the Subaru, third in Wales, was determined to do well here, but some of his early driving manoeuvres left a lot to be desired. Perhaps some of the spectators might have done a lot better. Both fans and drivers alike were pleased to see veteran Jimmy McRae here again in the rarely seen Calibra. It's an event he's always enjoyed.
You've had a bit of experience of this neck of the woods. What's it like today?
It hasn't started so good. The first stage we had a puncture, a front wheel puncture. I clipped a rock and punctured the wheel, then halfway through the long one there, the brake pedal has completely gone. So I drove for a bit on the handbrake, then no handbrake, so we just really had to drive in the gearbox. So we've lost a fair bit of time, I think.
You've also lost a little bit at the back end there.
I see, I don't know where that happened. I mean, the front wheel punctured, but I don't know what happened to the bumper. Honest, it wasn't me.
Is this a development car?
This was a car that was developed a year and a half ago for Group A, and it was never really used. It was used in Europe, but motorsport developers who developed it for Opel just feel that they would like to get it out and get it seen about.
Great things were expected of Finnish junior champion Tapio Laukkanen after his Group N triumph in the season's opening rally. But 2 punctures and a broken drive shaft to boot sent his Mitsubishi plummeting down the leaderboard. Just listen to what he thought about this stage.
Saa mennä, siinä ei ole mitään ongelmia, se on pitkä kuin nälkävuos. Lähtee sen jälkeen taittaa oikeeta vitun pitkää, ei pitäisi olla pahaa sekään. Ei ole pahaa, ei ole pahaa.
In any language, Martin Rowe was going splendidly. Second fastest on the opening stage, but soon to suffer one of the punctures that would be a feature of this event. Teammate Johnny Milner was stricken by 2 gearbox failures, one on the way to stage 1 and one on the first stage itself. But now, working with gearbox number 3, he was really flying. Dougie Watson-Clark was showing that the escorts would be something to be reckoned with on this event. 5th overall after 3 stages. Paul Dias was also promising a top placing for his Ford. The Litchfield driver was 7th at the end of the first day. His closest challenger was Steve Petch. The Bishop Auckland driver was hoping for a lucky 13th season.
How's it going, Steve?
It's fairly good, actually, yes. It's the last stage was, you know, drying up a little bit and felt a bit quicker on there, but it's a long stage, isn't it?
Tommy Mäkinen was pre-event favourite to win the Formula 2 category. But he was obviously taking some time to get used to an event without pace notes. His main challenger was expected to be David Llewellyn, who had sportingly agreed to give us a privileged driver's eye view of his speedometer and rev counter.
Easy left. Then straight for it, over a kilometre. All dead straight for about 2 k's, it looks, to a chicane. It's where those people are, probably.
Just watch him top the tongue.
It goes left, right, left. Don't know how narrow it will be. Left first. Right, left. That's it.
Alistair McRae was hoping for better luck than on the Welsh Rally. He would end day 1 12th overall and 3rd in Formula 2.
Short straight and then long medium left minus. Continues to square right. Keep going left. Left, square right.
He would have to give best to Bruno Artson, the Norwegian who'd made his presence felt in Wales and would certainly be the dark horse here. Once again, the Mobil Top Gear Championship was a magnet for drivers from all corners of Scandinavia. But one Scandinavian visitor, Finnish champion Sebastian Lindholm, was not having a happy time in his Formula 2 Volkswagen Golf.
It's really been a really bad day today. We had a brake problems on the first stage. We lost all brakes after 4 miles, and we are still struggling with the front brakes, having just brakes on the rear. And then we had a gearbox problem on stage 2, and after 7 miles we lost 5th and 6th gear. So it has been a good day today.
What's happened, Tommy?
We lost quite a lot of time. We broke left-hand drive shaft and nearly 20 kilometers with the one-wheel drive.
So you just had one-wheel drive?
Yeah, it's not very fast.
Manxman David Higgins was going well in his Peugeot until Kershaw proved too much for his suspension and consequently his drive shaft. He wasn't going to repeat his Welsh class win. So now it was up to brother Mark to defend the family honour. It wasn't made an easy task when he fell victim to a puncture and had to drive 6 miles on a flat tyre. And it wasn't to be his last puncture.
So at the end of a fairly predictable day one, the Dubliner Austin McHale was in 5th position in his Toyota. Carlisle's Dougie Watson-Clark was enjoying home advantage in 4th spot. Across northern England, the storm clouds rumbled, providing the usual English cocktail of conditions, as Johnny Milner held 3rd position. He was also leading Group N in his Shell Scholarship Escort. But it had been a day of domination by the Group A Escort Cosworths, Stephen Finlay in 2nd position. Team leader Malcolm Wilson relishing home conditions, the clear leader as the rally headed back to Carlisle.
30 left long. 30 right long. 600. Dips and crests.
Stage has been quite difficult. Nice to get through Pondashaw, but yeah, very good.
And you've got quite a nice little lead over your teammate, so you're in 1st and 2nd position with your cars.
That's okay, as long as we can make it, hopefully stay that way for the rest of the rally. That's what we're after at the end of the day.
Other drivers had enjoyed their day too. Johnny Milner, after mishaps in the past, was enjoying this event.
Brilliant, yeah, really pleased. The car's running very, very well indeed. Barring the gearbox problems earlier on, luckily, touch wood, it's all going okay now. There's no more repetitions of the gearbox problems. Martin had a puncture unfortunately on stage 3 and lost some time to us, but Doug is going a little bit quicker now, so still got a fight on.
Been a good day. We've had a few problems. We changed the front diff, but we found out that it's not that, it's the gearbox. So hopefully they'll change that in the morning. On the last 2 stages, the washers suddenly started working on their own, and they've been spraying the windscreen with water all the way through the stages, but makes it exciting, you know.
It's been pretty hectic in there. Old Kielder fights back.
Can you just give us help for a second, lads, can you?
Chris Birkbeck was deep in the brown stuff. A tug of war followed, first at the front, then from the rear. They even brought in a Land Rover, but the mud held firm and Birkbeck's rally was over. Day 2 dawned with the promise of brighter weather. The sun broke through to shine on Malcolm Wilson in the Escort Cosworth. He missed out here last year, but this time he was looking unstoppable.
Junction turn 90 right.
He last won this event in 1984 in an Audi Quattro. Times change, but Wilson's driving skills seemingly don't. Only a technical or mechanical failure looked likely to steer Wilson off course now, as he extended his lead in the opening stages. Another class, another driver, Harry Cathcart in the tiny Suzuki, looking for victory in the N1 class. And the flying grocers from Ulster, the Calvin brothers, were doing brisk business in the N3 class. Steve Wedgbury in the ex-Alistair McRae Nova led class A6. But perhaps the hottest battle was developing in Formula 2. Overnight leader David Llewellyn was flat out, coaxing the very best from his machinery.
Straight crest, 400. Square left. Come on, baby.
Alistair McRae was equally determined to beat Llewellyn. Certainly he was picking up time on the opening stages of day 2.
120 okay. Square left, no arrows in the dip. Square left. Keep going left and medium right minus continues.
By the time Alistair reached the first service halt of the day, he was in a strong position.
What's the situation between you and David Llewellyn now?
I think we're maybe 3 or 4 seconds up, and it's actually Arston that's second, then David's a further 5 or 6 behind him, so it's all pretty close.
Is so everything okay, Bruno?
No, it's not okay at all. We lost the belt to the alternator and the servo pump before the last stage. So we had to do that stage without power steering.
So can you repair it fully?
Yes, we think so. So we are hoping. We are good guys, so...
The race is still on then in Formula 2?
Yeah, it's... I think we are 3 or 4 seconds in front of Llewellyn and 2 seconds behind McRae, so we have to go maximum attack. Yes. It's a message to Llewellyn.
Murray Grierson was also having problems in his Subaru, yet another car once driven by Alistair McRae. It was time for some hasty roadside repair work, but the signs weren't looking good.
We pulled an insert out of this strut 2 stages ago, and we did a repair on the roadside, but we're not very sure it'll last just the way it was. Come to fit the new struts and they won't go in, won't go through. They're just a little bit tight to go through the top mount, so just having a little bit of problem at the moment deciding what to do.
Well, it's the wrong size one, is it, or something?
This bit here is just a little bit bigger diameter than that for some reason, small burr in it or something, so we just get a file and tidy it up and get it back on then.
The joys of the private rally driver.
Oh yeah, terrible.
But all the work was to no avail. Midway through the Falston stage, his car leapt off the road, up a bank, and there it stayed.
Paul Dias's problems were less dramatic, but equally frustrating. Just as in Wales, his Escort began to slow with faltering oil pressure, and he slipped down the leaderboard, just clinging on to a top 10 placing. Penny Mallory was in fine form in her Sierra, but her hopes of a fine finish rolled away with a wheel she knocked off on the very last stage. Tapio Laukkanen's first day troubles had dropped into 32nd place, and he certainly wasn't in the mood to let Les Andrew delay him for long. He would climb back to 27th place and hang on to 2nd place in the Group N title table.
Jäikö sinne?
Roger Clark's son Matthew scored his best championship result to date. He was 14th overall in his Group N Escort. Another young driver, Shell Scholarship winner Martin Rowe, had an even better result. He was the shooting star of Sunday's stages, accelerating from 13th to 6th place overall, and into the Group N championship lead. But the man bidding for the Group N honours on this event was his teammate, Johnny Milner. And if this wasn't enough, the Yorkshireman was also lying 3rd overall. The Formula 2 battle was now really hotting up, and Lancashire's Nick Hutchinson was trying some new tricks to boost his chances.
On the shorter ones, we did risk taking the spare wheel out and the jack and stuff to try and lighten the car, because being a clubman spec, it is a bit heavy really, but I think it's difficult to get the Astra down to the weight limit anyway.
You didn't think you were leaving the co-driver behind to lighten it even more?
Well, I would have considered it, but he's done such a good job. He's done really well on the maps. He's given me a lot of information. It's been great, yeah. Really good, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Alistair McRae was 2nd and chasing hard in the Formula 2 battle when his drive shaft snapped with 8 miles still to go on the 8th stage. He claimed 4th place in the Formula 2 battle, and he gave the Nissan Sunny its first ever rally finish. David Llewellyn lost his chance of a Formula 2 win on the same walk-up stage.
Ooh, you bugger. Well held.
This was the moment that would cost him dear.
Into fast right.
How far to go?
About 3 miles.
Got a puncture?
He actually had 2 punches at once and dropped to 3rd in class, just behind Tommy Mackinnon, who would finish 2nd. Quite a day for the Nissan camp. So it was the Norwegian dark horse Bruno Arntzen who came up on the rails to claim a very happy Formula 2 triumph.
First in Formula 2.
Yes, I think so, and of course we are very pleased with that result.
I think you've surprised quite a few people here.
Yes, I think so as well.
There was another surprise for the youth brigade. Former 5 times champion Jimmy McRae gave the Opel Calibra its best British finish. 5th overall for the old master. Austin McHale was also out to show the youngsters a thing or two, charging after Johnny Milner's 3rd place in his very powerful Toyota. But Johnny had other ideas.
Why are you so interested in Austin McHale's time there behind you?
Well, we had 18 miles to do, and he had to take 8 seconds off us. Well, realistically, ex-Carlos Sainz Toyota is going to take more than 8 seconds off us, you know. So we tried in there, but we were wanting to win Group N, which we have. And if we beat Austin, all well and good, but I don't mind so much. I'll give him 3rd.
Well, I've got news for you. He's just made exactly the equal time with you at the end.
Yes!
So Johnny had achieved his best ever result. 3rd overall in a Group N car. Stephen Finlay had been anxious to show that that shock Welsh win was no fluke. He only gave best to Malcolm Wilson, and of course he maintains his championship lead. But the Pirelli belonged to Wilson, and this was Malcolm's most monopolistic win. The cheerful Cumbrian was fastest on every stage. He had one moment, engine stopping and heart stopping no doubt, right in front of our cameras. Seldom was a victory more deserved.
Well done, Malcolm. The final control. You've done it, eh?
Yeah, at long last. Yeah, a few made a mess of the last stage really, but overall very pleased.
What do you mean you made a mess?
I just made a couple of mistakes. I stalled a couple of times. So anyhow, we're here and obviously very happy.
Well done, brilliant.
And a very popular win too by nearly 3 minutes over teammate Stephen Finlay, who retains his overall championship lead, and 6 Fords there in the top 8 places. In Group N, total Ford domination and a brilliant win for Yorkshire's Johnny Milner, 3.5 minutes clear of Martin Rowe. Norway's Bruno Arntzen took the spoils in Formula 2, but only 12 seconds covered the 2nd, 3rd and 4th place cars. Mark Higgins still leads the Junior Championship after a 2nd successive win. So Malcolm Wilson's championship aspirations are back on course after a magnificent win to set up a great contest for the next round, the Perth Scottish Rally in June.
plus. Make that medium left. 120. Caution, play left, deceptive. One shot. Play right plus. Medium right plus, visible here. Easy left and over crest into medium right minus in front of the trees. Straight 120, turn square left. Straight half a mile. All the way down to square right before the tape. Caution, drop outside. Medium left minus to medium right. All fairly quick, not too bad. It tightens in the trees, coming down to K left plus. Two little easy minuses and K left plus. Here. To left again. To easy right minus, tightens to K right. K right. Minus. Okay, and quite half a mile. Down to junction, and K right plus. Ignore fire brake. Keeps going right, turns into medium left plus, into medium right minus, and medium right again. Crest and turn square right. Right, very muddy for the last mile. Easy left minus. Easy right into medium left plus. Here. 70, K right plus after the crest. Into K left. K left minus. Crest and easy right minus timings. Just follow the tree run line round to the left. Still muddy. Goes left all the time, still going left. Still left. All okay, pretty quick down here. Easy left minus, maybe a bit tighter. All okay. All okay. Pretty quick. Round two. Medium left plus at the very end. And caution 50, K left minus. K left minus. Into long K right plus. Continues, maybe comes a little bit. Keep going right, opens.
The Perth Scottish rallies, it's notoriously rough and it's got long road sections and everybody seems to complain about it, but being home of international and the one you always want to do well on, you don't seem to worry about these things, and if you're running higher up the field you don't have the problems, so that's where we want to be running.
Perth, the fair city of Scotland, the weather had other ideas, wet and miserable, as the 47 starters gathered for the Perth Scottish Rally, round 3 of the Mobil 1 Top Gear British Championship. For Malcolm Wilson, fresh from a good performance in Greece, a more straightforward task.
People are saying here that these stages are rough. I mean, okay, I've had a look at them, but I mean, really, they ought to go to Greece and see what rough stages are about. But I think this rally this year will be very good. It's going up right up to Inverness. A lot of stages that have never been used since probably your days of co-driving. When I was doing the recce, I mean, it said that this stage has never been used since 1973. I mean, there's quite a few stages that I've never been on before, and I think it's nice to have a really nice, different route for a change.
Now, what is this rally going to be like for a two-wheel drive car?
It's always a very hard rally. You know, it's rocky, it's hard. The stage will be a bit softer, obviously, if it's raining. But it'll be tough, and punctures obviously is playing part on the event, and we've got plenty of competition. 2 Nissans, 3 Volkswagens, and 2 or 3 Astras as well, so I think it'll be a good event, and it'll be hard fought for.
I don't know how to approach it really, because if you do go flat out, there's a problem with punches, and with having Group N cars, you're going to bend suspension components and what have you, so I don't really know what to do yet.
What about these stages? How are you going to approach them?
Well, they're all fairly short ones, so you've got to have a bit of an attack on them, I think, to go well. If you get a puncher, you're not going to have time to stop, so you're going to have to get out on it. So it's going to be a compromise between going fairly hard and getting out without a problem.
There are 1 or 2 fairly big drops, I've heard.
Cliff keeps on telling me about those, but I try and ignore them.
The stage will be very, very rough. The car will be take a hell of a pounding. But that's the Scottish Rally, that's part of the enjoyment of it.
And so it was Malcolm Wilson with the sound of the pipes in the background leading the field away. The Scottish Rally then, a real marathon over 3 days, 25 special stages, 140 stage miles, and 700 miles travelled in all over the length and breadth of Scotland. On the famous Knock Hill circuit, Malcolm Wilson's Escort Cosworth instantly set a cracking pace on Friday evening, something for the spectators to savour.
Flat right to clear, left max long over crest. 170, keep left. Absolute crest long to 30. Fast K left long.
The Finn Marcus Gronholm was soon left in little doubt about Wilson's determination to win his first Scottish Rally in 9 years.
Fast left, 20. Flat right. To care, left max long over crest.
Johnny Milner in his Group N Shell Scholarship Escort was second fastest here, and he gave teammate Martin Rowe something to think about.
200. Don't go overtaking old Martin, you look like that. Left 5 into right 4.
The reigning Formula 2 champion David Llewellyn was fastest in his category, but was finding his Astra a bit of a handful.
Rest right, early 5 left. 70. Yeah, bugger. Keep right. Nearly. Did you see him run? Oh, that was a bit of action, wasn't it?
I was catching Alistair and I was getting a bit excited, I think, and took it a little bit too quick, and the back of the car went onto the grass on the exit of the bend, and it got very sideways, so I sort of sorted that out, but it flicked the other way and it got very sideways the other way. And then I got that sorted out, and I thought, oh, I've got it all under control now. But I had the steering wheel 1 turn wrong from the centre. And of course, when it put the power on, it suddenly went left again. A bit of a Nigel Mansell stunt in his touring car situation it was. But the marshals, I think, had a bit of a fright, because they were on the flying finish, and I could see them all disappearing over the barrier, so excitement all round.
Plenty of excitement too for Nigel Worswick. And a similar manoeuvre from John Gray in his Sierra. To round off the day, a quick dash around the grounds of Scone Palace, the historical site for crowning Scottish kings. Here, it was King Wilson again setting the pace. Behind him came the Toyota of Marcus Gronholm. And in third spot, Wilson's teammate in the Ford Escort, Stephen Finlay.
Saturday, the second day, dawned gloriously, especially for Malcolm Wilson. The overnight leader pulled further away from the field, fastest on the first two stages, despite early morning mud. Which caught out Marcus Gronholm. He felt our cameraman needed a better view of his still shiny Toyota. Also unplanned, Jorgen Jonassen's early departure, half a mile into Saturday's first stage with a broken drive shaft. Group N challenger Tapio Laukkanen was soon to be forced out with turbo failure. And here's a good view of Murray Grierson's early morning style. And a little royal wave for the Scottish Farmers' band of loyal supporters. Nigel Worswick wanted to copy the Grierson technique and did, while fellow Sierra pilot John Gray didn't need brakes at all to slow him down at the end of this stage. Then northwest towards Fort William, and a fleeting glimpse at the stunning scenery with some disinterested wildlife along the way. You can in a Nissan, and quite quickly too, if you're Tommy Mackinnon and leading Formula 2. Just ahead of teammate Alistair McRae. David Llewellyn's Astra trailed them both, but he was still having fun in the forests.
Care, 2 left, rest, then 3 left minus, 30. 2 right, continues, 30. 1 left, 50. Rest, 50. Open left, 130, twisty. 2 right, narrows, and 1 left, 70. Hold area, square left. Lamb and Henry. That was quick. I was tricky with all those crests and lovely. Oh, blimey.
No such enjoyment for Lindholm, his Golf no match for the Nissans, and gearbox trouble brought a merciful early end for the young Finn. Shakespeare might have written about it, sibling rivalry in a Scottish forest. Mark Higgins had the tiny Honda Civic just a dozen seconds ahead of his younger brother David in the baby Peugeot.
Right here, left 5 through gate. Flat right. 100 flat crest. 100 flat crest. Into right 6.
We've been matching him on times, and the last stage after the big service he took 7 seconds out of us again, so I'm not sure what he's done on this one, but we'll go for it.
But not for much longer. 2 more stages and another broken drive shaft ended the Peugeot's Scottish exploits.
50, turn half in 1 left unseen. Done it again.
Then, time to move north once more, and a chance to reflect.
At the minute, we're going backwards. So, but the Nissans are going very, very quickly. We don't seem to be able to compete with them. You know, they've got the edge all the time. So, I was disheartened this morning when we started because of that. But I think I've learned to accept it now. So I'm a little bit happier.
I think we're 1-2 at the moment. Tommy had dropped some time with a problem in, I'm not sure, 2-3 stages ago, but he's back into second now, so it's good at the moment. We just need to hold this to the end now.
Back on the hard stuff, Martin Rowe was in the thick of the Group N battle.
We were struggling to keep up with Johnny a little bit, and he was always a couple of seconds a stage faster than us. But we were going quicker, and he was going even more quicker. But now, unfortunately, he's got a problem, and we passed him in that last stage. I'm not too sure what's up. There's a fuel pump problem or something.
Johnny Milner's first 10 stages on the Scottish had been stunning, but Lady Luck then sent him a whole host of trouble.
And long right 4. Into left 5. What's the matter? Stop. Try and bump start it.
The fuel pump failed, 2 miles to go in that last stage. And I tried to see if it was a fuse or something silly, and it wasn't. It was a pump that had failed, so I got a lot of spectators together. We pushed it 2 miles to the end of the stage, and we just put a fuel pump on and got it going again, but we've lost 10 minutes, so it's lost the battle really, but I'm here and I'm coming from Yorkshire, as I keep telling you, and I'm not going to give up. No, you know, we'll be back there yet.
Milner's Cumbrian rival, Dougie Watson-Clark, was having a steadier event, just as planned.
You can go at a consistent pace and you can look after the car, but both Martin and Johnny are going very, very quickly, and I believe Johnny's had a bit of a problem now, and I don't even know whether he's made it here. So once you push these cars very hard, then they start to break. So if we can just keep at our pace, we'll be quite happy at that.
Meanwhile, another escort man, Paul Dias, was running in the top 10 till his diff exploded. What shocked him was the rough state of the Scottish stages.
Absolutely diabolical, the last 2. Bowlers the size of, not house bricks, breeze blocks. Bigger than house bricks, but that's the Scottish.
Brendan Creeley made noises about his brakes early on, then settled into his best run of the season. But a ditch on stage 12 ended his enjoyment for good. In contrast to a bodywork flapping Philip Young, up to 8th as his rivals fell back.
There was just no stopping Malcolm Wilson. Such was his confidence that he was using his vehicle as a testing ground for new components.
Flat right long, 60 over kink. Flat right, 120 over kink. Left max long, 20.
Even the Glenurquhart stage that caused everyone else problems didn't dent his superiority. The Toyota of Marcus Gronholm was in hot pursuit of Wilson's Escort, but the challenge was fading. He was eventually caught and overhauled by Stephen Findlay's Escort. Meanwhile, Murray Grierson in his Subaru was consolidating 4th position. Dougie Watson-Clark very nearly came to grief in Glenurquhart. But for Alistair McRae, this rally was over. His Nissan struggled and spluttered on one-wheel drive instead of 2. Meanwhile, Johnny Milner was having one of those "I'm glad it's not happening to me" stages.
Right 2 on crest, 50. Long left 2, go steady. 50.
As he caught Kevin Curran on this stage, his opponent promptly flipped over.
100. Oh no, he's off. Whoa! Caution, left 3, continues over 100.
Then more excitement as he closed on Phil Walker. For his pains, he got a puncture as he overtook him. It was all going badly wrong for Bruno Arntzen in his Opel Astra, another victim at Glenurquhart.
What's happened, Bruno?
I think everything went wrong now. First of all, we suffered a puncture on the left-hand rear, and a few bends after that. We went into what do you call it? Don't know. Small wooden up from the ground.
A stump, a tree stump.
Yeah, and we bent the rear axle and was going off the road, and we lost 15 minutes, I think. That rear axle is just a mess, so the car is not possible to drive.
I see the back end's badly damaged as well. What happened there?
Oh, it was from the first stage yesterday. Yeah, going a little bit too quick and went off backwards into a tire wall.
No monsters apparent on the beautiful still waters of Loch Ness, just the hectic goings-on of the nearby Scottish Rally. As day 2 drew to a close, Tommy Mackinnon maintained his Formula 2 lead. Not too far behind, David Llewellyn, giving us a unique insight into his driver's skill.
And long 2 left, 40. 4 left, 80. Crest 130. Bump at trees 80.
Mark Higgins was the leading junior despite some puncture problems. He was 3rd in Formula 2 and 5th in Group N. Philip Young was defending a hard-earned lead in Group N, a full 30 seconds clear of Martin Rowe, who was pressing him very hard indeed. But the overall leader and the man running the show was Malcolm Wilson. His superiority was unquestioned. He came through Drummond Hill, having been 35 seconds faster than his closest rival on this tricky 10-mile stage. Wilson was again simply the best, the most committed driver on show. The fans headed for home. The 27 drivers left reflected on a tough day.
A very hard day's work done. Many of us left, I don't think, to be honest. Roughest Scottish I've ever done, really.
Really?
Yeah,
You've won it?
I don't know whether it's because I'm running further down, you know. I'm usually in the top 5 running on the road, and have been since I've ever done the Scottish. So maybe it's because we're running a bit further back and the stones are getting dragged out more. But, God, blimey, it's stuff there like footballs.
What about the ground clearance on this car? Is it good enough for all these big rocks?
Yeah, it's surprising. It looks very, very low. I mean, the underneath of it now is a bit different than what it was when it started, but it seems to clear most of the stuff really well. Surprising, really.
So you're doing very well in all the sections that you're interested in?
Yeah, we're quite. I think we're 3rd in Formula 2 now as well, which is going to help our championship. But obviously the junior championship is probably the main concern, and we're well ahead of that, I think, at the moment. Long way to go yet, though.
Have you been having any trouble from your co-driver?
No, he's just on his honeymoon. He's getting all romantic with me now and again. I've got to be careful of that, you see.
So, the end of day 2, has it been a hard one?
It has really. I mean, there's been some very good stages and there's been quite a few rough ones, but to finish off with Drummond Hill is just the icing on the cake. It must be one of the best stages in the world. It's absolutely fantastic.
Why is it so good?
I think there's everything in it. It's very, very demanding. You know, you climb all the way up and you've got this big drop and a lock on the left, but then the last sort of 2 mile is just, it's real 1,000 lakes, very, very fast over the crests, and it's virtually flat all the way for the last 2 miles. It's the heart's in the mouth job. It's brilliant stuff.
Welshman Emlyn Wynne, a Japanese car, a Suzuki, enjoying this scenic tour of Scotland. Just like Ulster grocers the Calvin brothers, leading class N3 until a hold sump on Cardrona handed it in a big shopping basket to Scott Bradshaw, the Manxman who was in the same class at school as Mark Higgins and Martin Rowe. Some teacher. In the Battle of the Novas, Steve Wedgbury flew for a while, but a chronic misfire gave class A6 to Dave Charlton. Jeff Stewart kept his Astra clean and straight after early dramas with a tyre and a ditch. Closer to the front of the rally, David Llewellyn was still forcing his Astra to the limit through the fir trees.
Long crest, absolute right, 30. Small crest and open left, and 2 left plus, 100. Long crest right, braking 50, 4 left loose, 130.
This was Llewellyn and Grindrod's 5th puncture on the event. Hardly Grand Prix stuff, but changing a wheel in the middle of a Scottish wood in under 2 minutes is streets ahead of you and me, even with all the goodies of the local quick change depot. Mind you, spectators can be pretty handy to have around. Too many dramas like this cost the Works Vauxhall 9th place overall. Thanks very much, said Paul Dias, on the way to his third top 10 Scottish finish in 3 years. Nigel Worswick took his Sierra well beyond its sell-by date with a fine 8th place. While Martin Rowe tickled a gatepost or two on his way to 7th. While 6th, not a puncture in sight, just two-wheel drive, Mackinnon in the Nissan, a remarkable performance. Philip Young started 24th and finished 5th, 2 minutes in front of the next Group N man. And the sweet-sounding Subaru of Murray Grierson came home a mostly well-controlled 4th. Marcus Gronholm never really challenged the top 2. 3rd place for him was a whole minute behind Ulsterman Stephen Finlay and Scotsman Campbell Roy, who retained their championship lead. So, victory once more to Malcolm Wilson in his Escort by almost 5 minutes.
Flat left long to absolute right long continues. Flat left 30. Flat right 60. Easy left long.
He was, it's fair to say, in a class of his own.
It's amazing how 12 months can make a difference, really. You know, you think this time last year we were really struggling, and the last 2 rallies have been very kind to us.
And this one must be the easiest to date.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's been a very hard rally, the rally itself, but you know, the car and everything else has just performed impeccably. And obviously, I mean, I'm delighted that Stevens finished 2nd. Obviously, still puts more pressure on for the championship, but to have a 1-2
in the
team with the Michelin pilots and from our own stables as well, I have to say I am very, very pleased, especially on this Scottish rally.
Victory then for Malcolm Wilson by over 4 minutes from teammate Stephen Finlay, with Marcus Gronholm in 3rd. 4 different manufacturers then in the top 8. In Group N, Philip Young had his best result yet, winning by nearly 2 minutes from Martin Rowe, and only Mark Higgins' Honda ruined a Ford full house. Tommy Mackinnon took the honours for the 2-wheel drive cars by nearly 7 minutes from the reigning champion David Llewellyn. In the Junior Championship, 3 out of 3 for Mark Higgins, extending his lead over Scott Bradshaw to 12 points. So a fizzing Malcolm Wilson goes to the next round in Ulster on a hat-trick, looking to repeat his last year's win on the Irish tarmac.
1, go. 40, left entry over crest, easy right. Flat left 20, left entry over crest, fast right. Flat left 30, absolute left long over crest, 60, crest easy left, medium right long, to cut that right over crest, to bridge medium right long, okay, medium left continues, 20, turn easy left long, keep in, 100, crest, flat right long plus, flat left over crest, flat right long 100, care, flat left long 20, flat crest and left max 20, flat right, flat left long 30, care, flat left and right max long over bump 100, easy left opens to hairpin left, flat right long continues, easy right to fast left, 20, crest flat right and hairpin right tight, to flat left, 30, absolute crest rightish 30, open hairpin left, opens, 30, care, K right long, opens, $50 of a kink, easy left long continues, fast left, and easy left over crest, 20, flat right and hairpin right, 20, fast left and medium left long, keep in, 80, flat right long 20, flat left long over crest, care, flat right 100 over kink, easy right to flat left 80, easy right to care, easy left long 20, easy right and turn fast K left, to medium right long and fast left, 60, care, fast left over bridge, 80 over crest, fast right to medium left, right max, keep in, 30, flat left 80, care left max over crest, 140 over kinks, flat right over crest 120, flat right over crest 20, cut left max 100, crest cut left max 30, care right max, kink flat right and absolute crest 40, flat crest leftish 30 over crest, flat left long, flat right long 70, care right max 70, easy right long, flat left 20, left entry hairpin right, to flat left long, flat right long, flat left long continues, 100, care flat left 30 over crest, flat left 40, care left max long 30, turn fast K left, late easy right, and care easy left, Easy right, medium left long. Flat right long care. Left max 30, turn late K right. Flat left 30. Flat left 50. Flat left 70. Right max long continues. And absolute crest long rightish. Flat left 40. Left max 40. Left max 30. Easy left. 30. Care flat left over dip. 20. Left max. Flat right over crest. 80. Left max over crest and easy right. Flat left. To easy left opens. Medium right. To flat left. Cut right max 30. Care left max 30. Flat crest left is 20. Easy left. 40. Flat left. Flat right long opens. 30. Flat left. Absolute crest 20. Right max. Flat left long. Flat right 30. Crest right max. Easy left long plus. Keep in. Easy right. Flat left. And absolute crest left is 30. Danger fast right. And cut fast right to medium left. To turn medium right long. To flat left. Flat right to left max long. Easy right long. Fast left. To care fast right long. Cut fast left. 30. Easy left. And care right max long continues. Left max long. And easy left. Cut right entry, easy left. Easy right 20. Turn fast K right. And care easy left long over crest. 20. Fast right long. Fast left long. To flat left 50 over kink. Easy right long. Flat left 50. Turn medium left. 250. Easy left long plus. 20. Care easy right. 30. Flat right long over crest. 60. Care easy right long. Keep in over mud. Flat left 20. Flat right to flat right 50. Care left max, right max. 30. Medium left. Cut flat right. And flat left 20. Easy right. And care left max long. To care easy right. Past junction opens. Care logs. All the way to the finish, bad logs. Flat left 30. Right max. 50. Easy left. To late medium right long over finish. To easy left. Okay.
The Ulster Rally is obviously one of the toughest events now in the championship because it's very short, sharp format, and it's 24 hours non-stop driving, really, apart from a few hours, and out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning for that second morning start, you know. So it's a hard event and very long, tough stages. Recce time kept down to 48 hours, and it's really hard work.
The Stainless Sea Link Ulster Rally, round 4 of the Mobil 1 Top Gear British Championship. It's off the gravel and onto the tarmac, and a chance for Malcolm Wilson to keep his championship hopes alive.
I have to sort of finish the rally to stand any chance of winning the championship, but also I've obviously got to be in either first or second position as well, I think, as well. So, you know, there's that pressure to start with, plus the fact, obviously, there's Stephen in there who's obviously in with a shout of winning both titles, the Irish Tarmac and the British Open, and it's local territory to him. So, I mean, he keeps telling me that he's been waiting all year to get me on the black stuff, as he calls it. And I suppose the last tarmac rally that I did was the Manx, which wasn't very good for me. So it's going to be an interesting battle.
We're fighting like hell now to get the championship, and Martin's sitting pretty really. He needs second to get the championship. We really need James Cullen or somebody in between him, or him to have a bit of a problem. I'm not wishing anything bad on him, but to help my championship, and you know, he has to have a bit of a problem for me.
Stephen goes very, very quickly. Bertie goes very quickly. I think I can go quickly. You know, it's a toss the coin and see situation.
The route followed its traditional form, from a Belfast start out to the shores of Lough Neagh. 8 stages on day 1 and a further 11 on day 2, totalling 179 miles of competitive driving.
Not surprisingly, Malcolm Wilson in the louder-than-usual Escort was the man setting the early pace. 1994 has been a vintage year for him. He was hoping to make the Ulster his 3rd win in a row, but even champions have the odd gremlin creeping into the system.
80. Easy left. To flat right.
Wilson's closest challenger was again his Ford teammate Stephen Findlay, still in with a chance of both British and Irish titles. The high-yomping Kenny McKinstry in the Subaru settled down in 3rd spot, but clearly lacked the pace to catch the Escorts. Meanwhile, Bertie Fisher in the new Subaru was in for an early roller coaster ride. Do you ever have the feeling that it's going to be one of those days? Although he was soon back on the road, the damage had clearly been done. At the next service area, Bertie's mechanics waited in vain. His engine, though, had given up the ghost.
The engine was running for maybe 20 seconds upside down, so, you know, the boys didn't think that should have had any effect on it, but, you know, a lot of these things you can be lucky and get away with it, and other times you're unlucky and you don't, so I think this is our unlucky weekend, probably.
Meanwhile, the Formula 2 battle was hotting up, with Finland's Tommi Mäkinen the man to catch. With his 3rd co-driver of the season, Seppo Harjan, it was almost the finish for the finish.
Pitkä vasen eri, 40 vasen nopea, leikkaa risteys.
Teammate Alistair McRae was just behind Mäkinen. The view from the road, nice one, Ali. The challenge of Sebastian Lindholm was short and sweet. It lasted just 1 stage. But the resilient David Llewellyn was determined not to let Mäkinen get too far ahead.
50. Early 5 left, tightens, square right. 30. 3 left plus, 150. Willow, 3 left plus, 150. Caution, long 2 right over crest, small gravel, and unseen 5 right, tightens down.
As for Nigel Worswick in the Sierra, the front view was infinitely better than the rear one. Philip Young was another driver going about things in his own sweet way. In soccer, they call this Route 1. The view from onboard was no less spectacular.
Turn long 5 left. Keep her going, get out. There's a gate, turn left, turn left. And 3 right. 150, so still, oh, careful.
Fellow Group N challenger James Cullen was trying the more orthodox approach by keeping it on the straight and narrow. He was just ahead of Martin Rowe in the Shell Scholarship Escort. Last year, James Leckie was in Group N. This year, he was in his Group A Subaru, but he was working overtime on that rearview mirror. Fourth place Johnny Milner was right behind him. And here was an Ulsterman not having the best of times on his home ground. Brendan Creeley's Toyota found trouble just around the corner. While the rally went on without him, Brendan had a long walk home. It was all deeply disappointing, but at times like this it pays to be philosophical. So where to now for Creeley?
I don't know. We can't get much worse. We, this stage, I've retired on to the second year in succession, so I think I'll ask for this stage to be put out of the rally next year. It's no good.
All was going well, though, for Mark Higgins in the little Honda. Brother David, though, was trying that Route 1 again with limited success. At times like this, it's all hands to the rescue. Where there's a will, there's often a way. It was all so smooth, though, for Top Dog Wilson as he headed for service.
Last year, the very first stage, had a lot of very bad bumps and things like that, whereas the stage this year had no bad bumps, so it was a nice stage to get into and get a feeling for the event. But there's still a couple of places, you know, that when you hit them, when you do the practice, you're sort of going 50 mile an hour, and then you're going over here now and probably in speeds of excess of 100 mile an hour over a bump. And it certainly has a different effect on the car. There's one or two places where it'd be very, very easy to get caught out on just on a bump sort of thing.
I did the Sligo Rally, which was Southern Ireland, as a test before this, and I was leading that rally until I broke the gearbox. Now, we're not driving on that pace. We're sort of, I would say that was 105% driving there. I'm probably driving 99% here, thinking on, you know, we can't afford to break the suspension or anything.
Sadly, he would find that other things can break, apart from suspensions. But no one was breaking Malcolm's stage monopoly. Fastest on every test, bumps and all.
Flat crest, 300 over bumps. Turn square left over gravel.
Stephen Finlay still nurtured championship hopes, charging along in a seemingly secure second place. Kenny McKinstry, the reigning tarmac champion, reckoned he was losing a second per mile to the Flying Fords. Johnny Milner may indeed have been taking it easy over the bumps, but he was holding fourth position and a half-minute lead in the Group N battle. Tommy Mackinnon was driving in Ulster for the first time ever, which made his fifth placing and Formula 2 lead all the more remarkable. Just to underline how exciting Formula 2 rallying can be, especially on tarmac, David Llewellyn was chasing hard in his Astra.
Right and 6 left. 30. 5 right. 30. 4 left minus, 3 right. 70. 4 left, 40. 5 right. 30. 5 left opens. And open right, 40. Crest 40, crest 30, 5 left, tightens.
It's amazing how he makes it seem so smooth.
Oh, it was a bit bumpy. Very fast and very bumpy. Didn't like it very much. Bit bad for the nerves.
Early evening would prove grim for both the Greer boys. First, David went out in his Escort, closely followed by Ian in his Toyota. A sad departure for the 1993 Irish national champion. In Group N, Donegal's James Cullen was going well and enjoying quite a duel with the flying Martin Rowe. Belfast's Philip Young was about to inspect the local scenery again.
Repeat 4 right. So keep it going, keep it going. Get first gear.
Happily, there was no shortage of helping hands and friendly advice.
Reverser, right up the road.
What's that, dragon? What's a dragon?
The junction just up here behind us. Thank you. Good lads.
Glengormley's Derek McGarrity was making the most of other people's misfortunes and moving smartly up the leaderboard. Ken Ridley was having his first rally since 1990, and it was proving a bumpy return. The local livestock took a dim view of the cream of British rallying, but for the human spectators, it was proving quite a spectacle, as Ulster's roads hit back at the mechanical interlopers. There was obvious relief as the drivers and the co-drivers headed for the relative sanctuary of a service halt.
There's some big jumps in there. You can forget all about this new Big Dipper at Blackpool. There's some better stuff in that stage. It's free as well.
Philip Young's Escort was showing its scars.
At least we're here, we're still in the rally, and well, we'll see what happens. Tomorrow's a new day, and it's going to be a very tough day, I think, tomorrow, so hopefully we can get patch on here and the boys can get the car sorted and we can keep going. That stage we'd lost so much time because we'd lost the power in the car. The exhaust had been completely ripped off because we went through a hedge backwards. So oh well, one of them things.
I'm quite impressed with the route this year. Nice long stages, and it's quite testing for everybody. And there's a lot of cars gone already, and to be honest, the rally hasn't started till tonight.
How right he was. As the sun set on day one, there was plenty of drama ahead. Alistair McRae astonished the spectators by adding his co-driver to the engine compartment. David Senior had to operate a broken throttle by hand, while Alistair tried to see past the bonnet. So David Llewellyn moved up into second place in the two-wheel drive tussle.
Turn 5 right, 5 left.
But the first leg of the day and night rally definitely belonged to Malcolm Wilson.
Right over crest. Left entry, K right.
As usual on the Ulster Rally, day 2 dawned wet, and Malcolm Wilson charged off into the dawn with just over a minute's lead. The Cumbrian was again looking in a class of his own. Could anyone catch him now?
.170, gravel braking, fast right.
Teammate Stephen Finlay, virtually in his own backyard, drove hard to close the gap. In Formula 2, Tommy Mackinnon was still very much in charge and showing just how fast these cars go on the closed roads of Ulster.
Tulen 120. Oikein eri. 50. Vasen eri miinus 70, vasen 30, vasen nopea.
In Group N, Johnny Milner was in front, but in the dawn light, his day wasn't getting off to the best of starts. It was problems all the way.
Johnny Mobile 1. We're dropping fuel pressure, it's misfiring all the way through the stage. I don't know what the problem is. It's still running now, but it's like cost us a bit of time.
I'm into 23, service point 23, over.
It promised to be a long, hard day for Milner. As usual, David Llewellyn was giving it full throttle in his Vauxhall Astra.
1 left, 60 twisty. 2 left, 30. Unseen 5 right. And 5 left tightens.
There were other battles going on. Ken Ridley hotly pursued by Philip Young, who was determined to make up for yesterday's mishaps.
Yeah, crest, bump and turn square left, don't cut. Past him on the inside, watch the curbs.
Sadly though, it didn't last.
2 left, turn square right, gravel and cuts.
Isn't rallying fun? Well, Malcolm Wilson had every reason to be happy. His crackling Escort was still stealing the show. He was still a minute and a half in front of Finlay. Wilson's 3rd British Championship win and 2nd successive Ulster victory were now looking distinct possibilities. Poor old Johnny Milner was having a less confident day, especially after this rather lucky escape. It was an anxious moment for everyone.
Johnny's gearbox is gone, and his clutch as well, and Martin's gearbox is on the way out, and the car's just having to be pushed here now. Johnny's is being pushed here. Martin pushed him some other way, I think, but we'll just see if we can get these gearboxes and the clutch chained here now.
Martin just helped me just off the finish of the stage because it was like steep uphill. And the clutch is burnt out now, so the boys are going to change the clutch and the gearbox. So if they can do it in the usual time, which is about 15 minutes, I'll be proud of them.
Milner wasn't the only one having problems. On the wet roads of Ulster, everyone was slip-sliding away. But the old pro Mackinnon was taking it all in his stride. If anything can, Mackinnon can.
Oikea nopea ja vasen nopea miinus. Lyppy täys. Oikea täys. 120.
Meanwhile, Kenny McKinstry was showing that the ageing legacy still has a place in modern rallying. Battered and bashed, but Mark Higgins was still leading the juniors.
Yeah, we stopped fairly quick on a little bank just going down left-hander, but hopefully hasn't cost us too much time. But this crit strap didn't half hurt then.
They sought him here, they sought him there, they looked for Milner everywhere.
There's a crest on the last stage, and as it landed, perfectly all right, the fuse box fell on my feet, jammed my feet against the pedals, and I just couldn't stop for the next corner, and just shot up in the air and broke the front strut and the hub and everything.
So once again, Milner's brave drive had ended in disappointment.
Nesma's Les Andrew won his Class N1 in the gutsy Peugeot. Manxman Mark Higgins took 11th overall spot and the N2 and Junior awards in his nimble Honda Civic. Manx champion Scott Bradshaw won the N3 class in his Vauxhall Astra. John Mulholland's Opel Corsa led the A5 class home. And despite looking like a wedding car, Steve Wedgbury's Nuptial Nova took Class A6. After his hard charge, David Llewellyn finished where he had started, in 8th place. The Welshman just couldn't match Mackinanc's pace.
Crest left times 2, 180. Mud, 2 left. Crest and 3 right, 40. Turn square left minus. Repeat, square left minus, 40.
Derek McGarity finished a strong 7th in the Sierra once driven by Mickey Biasio. But he had to give best to Ireland's James Cullen in a Group N escort. The Group N honours belong to Martin Rowe, the championship leader. It was the 23-year-old's first win of the year after 3 second places.
It's been really frustrating the last couple of stages because we've just been going really, really slowly through them, making sure the car's going to last, making sure the gearbox isn't going to break, and well, we got here. So.
Tommy Mackinnon was also taking no chances. He'd done enough to win Formula 2 and take 4th place overall. Had he enjoyed his first Irish experience?
Not quite. It's more rough what I thought. It's a really, really difficult tarmac rally.
Kenny McKinstry had a lonely rally, unable to catch the 2 escorts, but comfortably ahead of any other challengers. A well-deserved 3rd spot. Stephen Finlay's 2nd place was enough to consolidate his lead in 2 championships, the Irish Tarmac and, of course, the Mobil 1 Top Gear British Championship. So it's all down to the Manx. But the Ulster belonged to Malcolm Wilson, fastest on 16 of the 19 stages, winner of his 3rd successive event, and victor in Ulster for the 2nd year in succession.
From the start and built up the lead, before the rest halt. And I have to say, since then, really, we've just tried to sort of consolidate our lead. We had a slight scare halfway through this leg where we had a noise in the transmission. It might have been okay, but we took the precautionary chance to change both the gearbox and the front axle just to be sure. And other than that, both cars have run without even having to put a spanner on them. It's been very good.
So, victory for Malcolm by nearly 2 minutes over teammate Stephen Finlay, with Kenny McKinstry's Subaru 3rd. All this means that Malcolm has to finish 1st or 2nd on the Isle of Man to guarantee the title. In Group N, a fortuitous victory for Martin Rowe by over a minute from James Cullen, with Mark Higgins 3rd in the mighty Atom Honda Civic. In Formula 2, Tommy Mackinnon showed everyone the way, winning by at least an Irish mile from David Llewellyn's Vauxhall. After 4 rounds, Mark Higgins now has a virtually unassailable lead in the Junior Championship, with a full set of victories so far. Hard-earned victory champagne. But has Malcolm done enough to take the elusive title and be the man to give Ford their first championship since 1988?
Crest and unseen 5 left. 40. 5 right minus. 40. 5 right tightens, 5 left. Continues and tightens. Long 2 right, 100. 5 right plus. 70. 3 right, 30. 3 left, braking 40, 5 left minus. 60. Short 3 right, 100. Crest early 4 left, 40. 5 right opens, 130. 1 left over crest, 30, 5 right plus. And right entry, 4 left, tightens 5 plus. 30. 3 right, 130 twisty. 4 right, 30, 6 left. 100 twisty. 4 right, tightens 5 late, 50. Small water on left. 4 left, damp. 30. 3 left, 30. 2 right, 130. 5 right, tightens, 5 left. 60. T, square left, gravel. 70. 1 right, 80. 3 left plus, 100 twisty, mud. 1 right, 80. Crest early 2 left, 1 right, 130 twisty. 3 left tightens, 4 right. 40. 4 left minus, 30. 4 right. And 1 left and turn unseen square right, small gravel. 200. 1 left, 60. Open right, 30. Press left, braking 40, unseen 5 left, plus. 60. 5 right minus, 30. 3 right and crest unseen, turn square left, early. 100 twisty. 2 right, 150. 2 right narrows, 60. 3 left, 60. 3 left tightens late, 30. Open left and 2 left entry, 5 right plus, small gravel. 50. Open left 100. Crest and T square right. 80. 3 right over crest and 2 left. And 3 left, braking and 5 left tightens. 40. Open left over crest and 1 right, 4 left plus. And 1 right tightens 5 late. 70. Caution, 1 left tightens, 4 left, 3 right down. 50. Very down, square right tightens, small gravel on exit. And 4 left. Crest middle and 4 right narrows. 60. 5 left minus. 30. Crest, 2 right tightens, 35 right. 60. 5 left, 50. Crest 30. Crest and 1 right down, 130. Care short 4 left, house, 50. 3 left plus, 200. Short 5 right, 30. T6 right. 30. 1 right, 2 left. 30. Crest, 3 right plus, surface. 40. 2 right, 150. 5 left minus, 170. Caution 3 right, 4 left. Opens 3 house. 70. braking 3 right and 5 right. 80. 4 left and 1 left. Long crest and caution 4 right, then 5 left down. 50. 1 left 100. Crest and very long 2 right. 40 twisty. 4 left late. And 1 right, 130. Care, 5 right, double tightens late, and turn 5 left, tightens. 5 plus, and 4 right plus, 50. Crest and open right, 70. Care, 2 left over jump, and open left, 250. That's him. Well done.
The Manx, it's flowing, it's fast, it's tough, it's an endurance event. I mean, what more could you want? And it's all here on my home turf, so really looking forward to this one.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Left right, 60. Right max, left in. 30 of a crest. Left right long, clear on left. 8 long right. Left left. 30 of a jump. Clear flat right to the jump. 80.
The Isle of Man, last port of call in the Mobil 1 Top Gear British Rally Championship. The Manx International, the final and deciding round. At the TT Grandstand in Douglas, there was much to talk about, including Ford's new Formula 2 car.
I think the potential is very high, but on this event I think we mustn't expect too much because it's the first time for the car to come here. We've only had a few miles in the car, and this terrain over the island is very specialised, and you know, the experience might take its toll on that score, but as I say, the car has got great potential.
Now this is quite a big moment, David. The championship, the Formula 2 championship's up for grabs.
Yes, it's pretty exciting. The Tommy's going already, actually. It's a straight fight in between Tommy and myself. You know, there's no calculations, the dreaded calculations that are done sometimes. You know, if you finish third and he comes second and all that, it's a straight fight. If Tommy beats me, he wins the championship by a point, and if I beat him, I win the championship. So I think it's going to be a fairly intense battle, seeing his performance on the Ulster, you know, which was fantastic.
Now you can win the Formula 2 championship here if you beat David Llewellyn.
Yes, that's the very interesting 3 days, because I believe it will be quite hard competition between us. But I have every confidence for the car and tires and driver as well.
So Malcolm, the big one, the last round of the championship. What's the approach going to be?
Well, the approach is going to be the same as the rest of the rallies. I mean, I know we can, you know, probably win the championship if we just drove sort of very sensible, but I have to say I really would like to try and win the rally. Obviously, I want to win the championship, but I've led the Manx on 2 previous occasions, and the Manx scenery's always got the better of me. So I'd like to think that this time, you know, third time lucky, we can actually put it all together and hopefully, you know, come away with a win. But you never know in rallying.
The Manx International, the longest and fastest round of the season. It's spread over 3 days with 33 stages, 11 on day 1, 17 more on day 2 and 5 on day 3. That's nearly 250 miles in all.
But it took less than a yard to decide the first of the season's major titles.
Congratulations. Thank you. Let's do the biz now.
Mutual admiration as Mark Higgins won the Junior Championship just by crossing the line. Others must have wished it was all so easy. Malcolm Wilson still had it all to do, especially when he found himself demoted to second spot after the first 2 stages. The lead belonged to Northern Ireland's Kenny McKinstry in his private Subaru, pulling out all the stops to beat Stephen Finlay to the tarmac title. Last year's tarmac title holder Bertie Fisher was also bigger than Malcolm, but he lost road penalties because his navigator had forgotten to synchronise his watch. The first victim on the stages was local hero Gary Least in his Sierra. He had fuel problems and was passed by Mark Lovell, amongst others. Steve Wedgbury was also having problems with the laws of gravity. Dave Charlton put on a repeat performance with more dramatic effects. As always, there were plenty of helping hands to put the Vauxhall back on track. In the Formula 2 field, David Llewellyn was happily ahead of championship rival Mackinnon.
3 left. And 2 left entry, caution 4 right. Tightens into forward, very narrow. And 3 left went. And 1 right, 70.
But he was having to give best to an old challenger in a very new car. Good for Gwyngath. Alistair McRae was proving the fastest of the Nissan brigade. He was comfortably ahead of illustrious teammate Tommy Mackinnon. Johnny Milner's new Clubman Nissan was just outside the top 10. David Llewellyn was lucky not to finish up inside a van parked on the escape road. It took lightning reactions to avoid a major accident. His problem, failed brakes. That meant plenty of work for his support crew.
I'm happy to say I got a smile on my face again now. Nobody was hurt, just a bit of damage to the car, so in my book that's all right.
I did hear that it was one of your sponsors, actually.
Yeah, well, I think it was people that should have known better, really, that we nearly had to come in together with. But thankfully, they all got out of the way, and they're obviously very good at high jump because a couple of them went over the fence in all directions. But they all got out of the way, which is the main thing, and we can continue now with a clear mind.
There was more Formula 2 drama in store. Here's a too close for comfort view of Alistair McRae's puncture problems. Spectators formed a human hoist. But all their efforts were nearly nullified by a dramatic getaway. Mark Higgins was not too unhappy to wave goodbye to Formula 2 rival Johnny Milner, parked with a broken drive shaft. Despite 2 punctures, Higgins was having a great home run.
Tightens into junction left 2. Then right 6 long. Then left 2 plus tightens into right 5.
He would finish the day in 10th spot overall, still battling for Group N honours. But he had to give best in Group N to fellow marksman Martin Rowe, 5th overall and 4 minutes ahead in the Shell Scholarship Escort.
Turn right 9 on crest. Left 4.
Martin had certainly justified his selection for the prestigious drive. It was a good day for Ford up at the front too. Malcolm Wilson had set fastest time on no fewer than 9 of the day's 11 stages, and he was a full 50 seconds ahead of Kenny McKinstry as the survivors returned to Douglas.
Day 2, and for the enthusiasts, a cold backside was the least of their worries. Malcolm Wilson warmed things up, though. He was continuing where he left off yesterday.
Flat left and easy right. 30. Left max long, flat right 40. Care flat left long 40. Flat left 40, easy left long. 40 of a kink, K right.
The others just tried to keep up with him. This was Kenny McKinstry's Subaru, hoping to close the gap on Wilson, but without too much success. The other flying forward belonged to Stephen Finlay, still battling for the championship title. He worked hard to move up into 3rd spot, sometimes a little too hard. As for Bertie Fisher, the going was tough. His Subaru held 4th spot, but only just. Dieter Depping, the Dutchman on his first visit to the Manx, was handily placed in 5th spot. But there was always the chance of mechanical problems, as Martin Rowe in the 6th place Escort found out.
Left 2 and right 150, crest middle 100. Left 1, right 2 100, turn left 9 Bales. Okay. It's all right.
About halfway through the last stage, the front differential was broken. We came into a hairpin left corner, and under braking, all the front wheels just locked up. Bit of a moment, and that was that. Had to nurse it through the end of the stage, so we lost about a minute and a half, I think.
So how does that affect you in your Group N position?
I think we had about a 4.5 minute gap between us and Mark Higgins, so it doesn't affect us too much there, but that was my favourite stage, and you know, it'll affect us overall.
Well, that was a dramatic entrance, Bruno.
Yes, it is. I don't know what happened. We was not off the road or nothing. It's just everything disappeared behind there.
In the stage?
Yes, it was very close to the finish. I think it was maybe three miles from the finish or something.
What do you think of these roads?
Yes, it's pretty good, but the car didn't like it.
We just blew the gearbox on the 13th, on junction 13, that last stage. And I jumped out to try and see if I could just jam it in one gear, and we couldn't get anything, so we pushed it for about 2 k's in the stage.
You pushed the car?
Yeah, just a car, just with me and the co-driver, so I gave it the smallest car in the rally, we never would have made it.
Thirsty work?
Yeah, it keeps you fit, doesn't it?
Happily for Higgins, the Peugeot didn't take his breath away for too much longer. For poor old Dave Charlton, it was a case of deja vu at Brandywell. He still couldn't get it right. Amazingly, Stephen Finlay got out of this scrape with only a puncture. Gary Leese was stopping for no one as he charged up the leaderboard. Journalists Tony Jardine and Michael Calvin were getting a closer look at rallying, bruises and all, but their Toyota was going well. But no one could catch Malcolm Wilson, on top and in front.
Flat left, flat right, to fast left, long over crest. 100. Easy left. Flat right long plus 20. Easy right. And grid fast left 50. Easy left 20.
Wilson was now leading by a minute. The Cumbrian was going like a bat out of hell. Kenny McKinstry, though, hadn't given up hope of catching Wilson's Escort.
I think Malcolm's probably minute 25 seconds, something like that, or minute 20 seconds. And, you know, it's still, I mean, it's really only a puncture or something like that. He's still at a fair pace. We know we're at a decent pace. Anything can happen, especially with a bit of rain and slippy roads and that. We haven't given up yet.
It was the end of the road, though, for Bertie Fisher.
We've retired due to, well, we think a broken front diff, but, you know, it could be a centre diff. We were sitting at the start of the Druidale stage, and we just went to pull up to the line and realised we had no drive, and that was it, all over.
Neither the Manx Tourist Board nor the spectators welcomed the sudden change in the weather. And Martin Rose certainly didn't welcome a dramatic change in fortune.
Right 130, left 6, right 5. Left 2.
It didn't look too bad from the inside, but then
I just slightly clipped it was real narrow, a right-hand corner, and I just clipped the wall on the right. It just took a little nick out of the tyre. It's just slightly clipped the wall. It just launched the car straight across the road and landed in the hedge on the left. It took the wheel off, the whole of suspension, the steering rack on that side. So we crawled out. I don't know how the car got out, but we crawled out on 3 wheels.
You told me you were going to drive very carefully today.
I was, honestly.
the Formula 2 fray was really hotting up. Mark Higgins was using every ounce of his local knowledge.
Long over crest 30. Left 6 and right 6 past house. Then max right 40. Left 4 over dip. Into right 4 plus. 30 pass sign. Left 6. 70. Max left 40. Left 4 plus.
Alison McRae's day one dramas had dropped him down the field, but he was fighting his way back up the Formula 2 leaderboard. David Llewellyn's Astra still needed surgery on its brakes, and that meant that the Welshman was forced to play a waiting game. Gwyndaf Evans was still the dashing debutant in the new Ford, though he had had a variety of teething problems, including a silent intercom. Tommy Mackinnon was showing just how to make the most of front-wheel drive. Nigel Armfield in the Opel wasn't quite so sure-footed. Meanwhile, Malcolm was making the most of four-wheel drive.
So, 2/3 of the way through now. What am I right in saying is going exactly according to plan?
At the moment it is, apart from the weather. But yeah, we've had no problems. It's been quite difficult this afternoon with the way the weather's been, especially the first 2 stages out from here, a lot of polished tarmac, which made it very difficult to drive on. But no, other than that, everything's gone well.
What do you think of the Castletown stage that's going to be coming up?
Just be glad to get through it. There's a lot of hard scenery to hit in Castletown. I mean, the Manx banks are bad, but there's a lot of concrete walls now in Castletown, and plus there's the you could very easily go over the edge into the water.
Gwyndaf Evans' brave drive soon ended. A broken cross member meant a very cross navigator.
We just finished Castletown stage and the steering was very vague. And we arrived here and explained the problem to the mechanics, and they've realised that the cross member, that red metal object over there, is broken. And they have done their best to change it, but unfortunately it couldn't have happened at a worse place, because we were only allowed 40 minutes to do this road section and we've gone over the time limit. So that means we're out of the rally, unfortunately.
We felt good, we felt comfortable, we felt we could go quicker again tonight. We've made a lot of improvements to the car during the rally, and we were really getting quite confident that we could retain 6th overall and 2nd in F2, but it's all gone.
The Formula 2 title was decided in the darkness.
Open right and one left.
A very pleasantly surprised David Llewellyn suddenly came across his only rival, stranded by the wayside. Mackinnon was philosophical. His turn will surely come.
it was so stupid thing. Just the oil stick. There is the pipe from the block. From the block, the pipe was jump out, and oil was of course coming out from the engine on the exhaust pipe, and it's firing.
Solicitor Nigel Heath had a sorry tale to tell.
What appears to have happened is we've come round a long left-hander and the front upright has sheared, we've dragged along the ground and gone straight into a wall.
What sort of speed were you doing when you had this incident?
About 90. Unfortunately, my illustrious navigator has broken his leg and is in hospital at the moment.
Malcolm Wilson showed us a way to set a scorching pace. First you warm up your tyres.
And turn flat right 20, flat left, flat right long 160, flat right long 130 of a kick, easy right.
Day 3, the sun was out, and in Class N1, Les Andrews' Peugeot was making sure of outright victory for the year. Steve Cotton's Astra was doing likewise in Class N2. And the Peugeot 106 of David Higgins was flying too, leading Class A5. In Class A6, Nigel Arnfield won the Manx in his Opel. But it was Dave Charlton who took the overall title in this class. Philip Young was in 10th spot. Mind you, we all make mistakes. Mark Lovell finished 9th in his Toyota, a good 3 days' work for the former British champion.
A few years since you did the Manx, are the memories coming back?
They are. They're just as horrifying as they were before. It's a wicked fast place. It's a real test.
Frank Marr ignored all the signs and leapt from 13th to 7th in the final stages. Moving down the field on the final stage was the Ford Escort of Stephen Finlay. He dropped from 3rd to 6th. It was a distinctly bumpy ride with a few errors thrown in. Then there was a slight disagreement with a hay bale. The Escort came out bruised and battered. The Flying Dutchman, Dieter Depping, impressed everyone with a tenacious drive. He and German co-driver Peter Toole in their privately run Escort came in 3rd. Quite a performance. For the 2nd year in succession, car number 2, driven by Kenny McKinstry, finished 2nd. It was a typically robust drive by the Ulsterman, and it helped his tarmac title prospects too. Mark Higgins, junior champion, was 8th overall. Oh, and by the way, Mark, ever fancied being a commentator?
Can we do a good bit now? A bit of a bump there, she takes off, cut the corner, and back in again. Bad jump used on the Mobil Challenge, it really kicked her back up here. On the front, she's okay.
David Llewellyn, the Formula 2 champion, had seen victory here in the balance throughout the rally. The drama was sustained right to the end. It had been a close-run thing. Llewellyn was thankful that his Astra had lasted the pace.
It's all happening. We had settled for 2nd against Alistair, but first stage this morning we just had a nice clean drive through, and Alistair had a disastrous stage. Spun here on a junction and a few other problems, stones on the tyres afterwards. And we took 18 seconds off him, so that put us 6 seconds apart. So we had to have a little a little go then, and the next stage we took 3, and then the next stage we took 3. So that put us equal going into the last stage, and we hear he's blown the engine. So they're dropping by the wayside, so you should have a Vauxhall.
Alistair's retirement also cost Nissan the Formula 2 manufacturer's crown. Martin Rowe, after some early dramas, took the Group N category. A consistent year and a well-deserved championship for the Shell Scholarship winner. "12 months overdue, but at last Malcolm Wilson had won the British Championship for Ford, his first ever and Ford's first since 1988.
Well, it's been easy until the last two stages, I have to say. I mean, the whole rally we didn't plan to drive at 100%, but the last two stages, I think it really sunk home to me that, you know, there is a real chance that it actually might happen, might win the rally and might actually win the championship. And those two have been the worst two stages in my life, I think. I mean, admittedly, a very long stage at the end of a very difficult rally anyhow. But it was very difficult to keep the proper concentration, I can tell you.
So, victory for Malcolm Wilson at last on the Manx. He finished over 2 minutes ahead of Kenny McKinstry's Subaru. A fine performance too from Dutchman Dieter Depping, who finished third. In Group N, victory to Martin Rowe by over 6 minutes from the very rapid Honda Civic of Mark Higgins. Mark Lovell's Toyota was third. In Formula 2, a last-gasp victory for David Llewellyn, with Mark Higgins again taking the runner-up spot. Norway's Bruno Arntzen rounded off a good season with a third place here. The overall championship finished with a distinct Ford flavour, with David Llewellyn's Vauxhall and Bruno Arntzen's Opel completing the top 5. And of course, there couldn't be a more popular champion than Malcolm Wilson.
Go. Off we go, getting the revs up. Trying about 8.5 though, and then changing into second. Now all the way down here is really quick. Just got to get the line right there and let the car drift out. Try not to scrub off too much speed. This bit here as well is nearly flat. In fact, it is flat. We'll just hold it in there. 5th gear. I'm showing 120 miles an hour on the clock already now. A bad bump here. This is where Robbie Head had a very big crash a few years ago on that bump there. See? Back on down. It's a bit harder than Dick Johnson makes it look on Australian TV. Whoa. To the left 4. Then coming out the sign, braking, where all the people are now. Famous bit, Brandywell Cottage, keeping it on all the time. Braking hard. Just missed the handbrake then, back on to the 90 left. Then off we go. Bad grid, got to brake for it nice and early, into first, power it through. Then a very quick section. Sort of covering the left foot a little bit there, it's a bad one. Mark Lovell, not Mark Lovell. Phil Collins had a bit of a do there a few years ago in the Pinksy era, cutting in, letting it slide a bit. And back in, tight left. Even going to first to get the power out. You lose a bit of traction there without having the diff. And off we go again. Coming to a good bit now. A bit of a bump there, she takes off, cut the corner. And back in again. Bad jump used on the Mobil Challenge, it really kicks her back up here. On the front. She's okay. Flat nearly all the way down, but there's a lot of standing water here, so we'll take it a bit easy. Change it down a gear. Mud as well, it was bad before. And a bad bump here as well if you get it wrong. Coming up to Penty's grid because he got it well sideways one year in the Starion. Lose a bit of speed there. You really need a gear in between. Back in at second. Tight right. Back on the power when the car's actually straight. Quick here. I think I'll just jump a bit there. Trying to keep it on all the way. Crest and then a very tight corner, goes on for a long time. Just cut the ditch a little bit. Cattle grid. Back into first again. Watch the mud. Lose a lot of time with traction. Off we go. And now it's all quick. How are you doing, Cliff? Some bad bumps along here as well. They're going well over 100 miles an hour already. And the VTEC kicks in, back off here. As you can see, there's a few bumps there. And the Honda engine just revs and revs. Braking hard with the Yokohama tyres, which are working really well. Plug. And the Castrol oil, of course. To the top in a 90-degree right, braking nice and late, it twitches around a bit. Get the car straight, then back on the power. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be. Coming up to a grid, and again a bad place for water. The brake into second. And because the car revs so high, you can go down an extra gear and just hold it on the revs. And often enough you just want to gear in between the two to actually get you out a lot quicker. Brake a bit here, bad bump. And now very close to the finish. Again seeing 100 miles an hour on the clock there. Brake here, jump. Change down, goes left. Very bad corner. Very easy to get caught out on. You can see the cars hopping around. Back on the gas. And through we go. And that was a bit of a crack.
Very clever.
And that's SS7.